I think on the May 14th, 2026, confirmation or acceptance of order. We're going to be looking at goals of our program discussion. And the first work step, the first work plan for the goals. Gina, would you like to read that?
First one?
Yeah.
I'm black. Objective number 1, develop 3 opportunities for intergenerational programs. Strategy, senior prom, approach junior, senior high students to coordinate with senior participants for a senior prom. Reaching program at kindergarten level, senior visits kindergarten class in Mountain View to read once a month. And college level students interact during lunch with seniors. Engaging younger generations with the Senior Center fosters a deeper understanding of its role in the community, helping to break down stereotypes about aging. By increasing awareness of how the center operates and the programs it offers, more meaningful connections can be formed between senior and younger individuals. These intergenerational interactions not only help reduce loneliness among older adults, but also enhance their sense of purpose and value. At the same time, mentoring opportunities allow youth to gain valuable life skills, guidance, and a sense of connection, creating positive outcomes for both generations.
Saying that last week, we had the grade school kids that came in and performed, and that was really cool. And they came and had lunch with us. So we have, I would have to say, we have a first intergenerational activity. That's cool. That's cool. And then Carolyn, if you've gotten a handout, need some ideas on that. So I'm looking for workplace for this work plan, developing this. Comment?
Rachel, could I back up for a second? How are those people contacted and how do they respond to get that done?
Gina,
What?
you want to talk to that about that?
Yeah. I know it sent out surveys
Yes.
to all of the schools, and she had several responses. And so I think that's that's as much as I know on what happened with it.
But get them. Really.
So there are already some things throughout the year that we do have intergenerational. One is prom breakfast. And that's more with high school students, and there's a handful of seniors who are willing to get up in the middle of the night. And this year we were down a number, so we'll look at that. But another one is anytime we have what are they, Civil Patrol cadets, that is something that they come and volunteer with us on. So we have that. Some of these are set into our routine anyway. So we would be looking at extra things outside of that. Prom breakfast is another one, not prom breakfast, but breakfast with Santa. Okay. And Halloween, we ask the kids to come in. That's a Senior Connection sponsored event. So is prom breakfast. So some of those are in our calendar, but they are, I would say, for maybe a year, more when the cadets come and help. And so I would love to see it once a month. We have intergenerational. I think that it is we've got people willing to do that. The kids who are here, I don't know if any of them, it still gives me chills. The kids from the Kenaitze school were fantastic. I thought, and both of them are there.
What grade level was that?
That was second graders.
For second graders, because we were here, for second graders that came in, sat at our table, and the conversation that we had was amazing.
Second and third graders.
Yeah.
their instructor, his name, I can't remember his name, he told them when they would go to sit with seniors, he kind of coached them a little bit. He said to ask them if they remembered what it was like when they were their age. So do you remember what it was like when you were on age? Did they ask that?
They did, and then we get that into conversation about their school and how that's just a little bit different than normal than the regular grade school. And because of the charter and being with the Canine season, it was an awesome conversation about what they did. They asked us questions back about what we did when we were in school and questions about the senior center that they had. And the interaction was great.
Oh, that's
It was wonderful.
Thinking about that, naturally fun. Okay, we ever had a, like a homeschoolers? If there's a homeschooler,
We could very easily do that.
yes. Is that something that they, you know, when you go to a school, it's different from your home. They require something with that in their program.
Well, in two, I know we have things, it's nice when the kids are coming, for instance, when they're coming for prom breakfast, when they're coming for Halloween, when they're coming for breakfast with Santa, we are providing them with something. So it would be really nice to have things that they come, that they're not getting anything for it necessarily. Maybe we'll have Missy cookies or something, but it's not right. Or something
More
that
interaction.
more interaction than it is just in time that we're giving. Does that make sense? A little
Yes.
bit?
Yes.
Because the prom breakfast, they come for breakfast, and there is some interaction, but there's not like with this group that was here last week. It was real different, so we're giving something versus just doing something together.
A lot of that depends on the teachers. You had a very active community teacher who was, he taught at Key Beach Elementary, he taught at Mount View, he taught at McGiskey. And so he's very much here to get in there. Mount View had a music teacher for years, remember, and I think he's retired now. And every year we got kids, Suzanne Clavin, when she retired from Paul's wife, who retired from K Beach 2 years ago, she was always instrumental in getting the 5th and 6th graders to come who were on the honor team, and they do crafts together to give to home meals clients and make stars and things. So it,
Well, and also like, you have the show and tell at school, right? Kids do show and tell, especially in the elementary school levels. If the homeschoolers could come in and do a show and tell to the seniors. And then have lunch. Thing like that, might be.
if any of us go to read at Mount View, or if any of us go to the school, we do have to do a background check through the Connections at Borough. And so we don't pay for it, the borough does. And mine got back, my grandson, field trip last week, which has probably brought this on for writing the buzz. Second of all, yeah, and I got my background check back within 4 hours, so it can go pretty quickly.
Are there any boy Girl Scout groups around? Those rich. Making, you know, badges and stuff that they.
Where'd you go? Good question. That I don't know.
Maybe that we would look into.
Yeah.
And then when I was talking to you, I think, about, I was talking to my daughter. And, you know, we talked about high school and the elementary. But truly, it'd be a really good thing to get that group from, say, 50 to 20, from 20 to 50, that group somehow. And he said, Mom, most of the women that are new mothers or just, you know, mothers would love to dress up And I thought, the senior comment touch, if you guys held, like a beautiful, really nice banquet dinner, let's say music going, whatever, you could give the work to people my age. She said, because we would probably do it up, not having to pay for the venue and make it a really nice night for the seniors and for our. She did that when she was just shortly out of school. Her and a friend of hers, two friends of hers, rented the center and they had the bubbly, it was just cider, but and they had music and everybody came in and dressed to the hilt and they had dancing. It was a prom. And everybody just loved it. They sold every ticket they had. So she was like, we could do that again. Together. You just sell tickets and you can make, she said for a night like that, a couple would easily pay $50-$60. A pop, something like that. But what I was thinking the whole time she was talking about fun for her. I was thinking that a good get that age group invested in seniors, getting to know the seniors, and you could even have like a game or something where you got to know, some sort of game where you got to know 100 people, something like that. But maybe that sounds good, like a good idea. But I love dancing, so there we go. Yes, right.
Are there some programs that the kids have the week?
Well, I think in Mountain View, I know once a year, and maybe they do it more often than I'm not aware of it, but that's the reading program where I've gone over there once a year and read. Interacted with the grade school. I would think they need if we could have it.
Has anybody looked into that? Because it's on here as far as the reaching the program.
I'm not sure if kids have looked into that, but I know that it was through Mountain View that we were.
Okay.
You want to check that out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I know with Finland, he asked me to. Fishing. Ice fishing.
yes.
Well, she was part of Grace school, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another avenue to reach out to as far as and say where,
The board.
yeah. Yeah, the private schools.
Yeah.
Or possible. Reach out. But I don't think we think we need to start small and build. Gina.
The Kenai Wildlife Refuge has a summer program and they always need volunteers and stuff that might. They do things down to the lake, maybe, and they show movies and they send out a calendar.
But then it would be, so were you talking about seniors going, but the kids
Going there
and
to
doing
help
it.
because it's usually kids, families.
And what kind of activities would that involve?
They
With the
do
wildlife?
different things. They do hikes through the trails there. They do they show movies. They have craft days. I didn't really pay that close attention to this.
It's not
summer
rescuing
one.
animals.
No. It's a volunteering to help with the kids and people that go in. I deleted my email because I have surgery.
There could be an activity you're talking about, that an activity that our seniors could do. That they not just volunteering on a regular basis, but an activity
Together
with
That's what's
particular day.
Yeah, just we locked the back door. Yeah, you don't know, have the bus. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yes.
So, but do you want to mention what Independent Living is doing with the kids?
They've been doing that for a while, but it's something I wanted us to look at this year. So the Independent Living Center works with, it's the Department of Vocational, we've had no clue on that, but, they go into the schools during the school year and they teach work skills. And then they have a summer work program this year. They have the largest amount of kids they've ever had interested. I believe it's 60. And between Department of Vocab and the Independent Living Center, they pay for all the insurance, they pay the individual's wages just so they can come and have relationships with like us, where the person can come in and they can learn skills from us and be paid for it during the summer and maybe be hired by us, maybe not, but they at least earn skills. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for a young individual to come in. Haven't figured out, that's why I put it to the team, because I haven't been able to wrap my mind around one thing. There's so many things that we could use for outside, for relationship building, data entry. There's so much. I needed the team to help me bring it back in. So I'm not overworking somebody, but I thought it would be a great idea for us to create a relationship this year so that we can do it ongoing. I think it's a great opportunity.
That is. One, at least one in
But there's so many other things. Yeah.
Are we talking about an age group that, I'm just thinking I could maybe teach them how to balance check.
Yes, this is high schoolers.
That's,
These are high
it's
schoolers.
the same, that's what I was just reading now, it's weird. Cause I was thinking that a lot of kids don't understand just doing a budget, the simple budget. You know,
it.
or something like that, or
Great idea.
which if we were to bring the kids in, we get them for the month of June. This is just the month of June, I believe.
That might be longer. It's summer. I didn't look for time. I know we had a deadline to get them an answer, but I didn't see how long it was.
It goes through the. Oh, shoot, they attached a flyer.
I guess they're talking about a skill set of some sort.
Yeah, so there's a lot of data entry that I could sit down, but I don't want whoever we bring in to just be stuck in an office filling a hole. I want them to learn the people skills, because you need more people skills than you need data skills in this environment. And we're talking about the next gen workforce that we're trying to grow here because they're all leaving.
Thank you. And
So,
please, and
yeah.
yeah.
So many of our representatives are very much pushing for more funding towards these programs. Rough Ridge is a big one too, because of the development of our younger workforce.
I was just on a YouTube today and they said 30% of our kids are being raised by their grandparents. It's just crazy to me. But that could that be something we could tap into, that group of people where they
Like, you know how you have a singles group?
have a grandma,
Grandpa, they're raising their grandparents.
We've had that, we did try years ago, it's been probably 15 to 20 years ago, we did try, because it was starting, you saw that shift starting, and we got a support youth for a while. We met Margie, her husband was the ortho doc. Dr. McCord, Margie McCord started that many years ago. And the numbers are higher now than they were. And so I think going at it from a senior perspective, that should be something that kind of gives me chills to think of. How can we be there for the
That's absolutely, and then you have,
red
from that, you bring on a study of, or, you know, just to figure it out, of what they adopted. You know,
That's a state, foster grandparent is a state funded organization through. Think, that's it. It's no Department of Labor or some, one of those.
Is there something that we could do from here? Nah, you could get the senior stuff like.
I think it's a good idea.
Something like Big Brother, Big Sister type thing, but it's actually grandparents that. 'Cause I know my mom would love to sit and visit with, she loved her grandkids, so she'd sit visit with any little kid. And be there, for their sports.
Thinking about that, I remember when the area senior centers met and had a picnic. Why couldn't we do something like that for the grandparent as a kid and have seniors here plan game and
And with that, like a natural grandparent like me.
yeah,
Bring in my grandparents, you might bring your my grandkids, you might bring your grandkids that you're raising,
right.
but there's support there.
How would you facilitate that?
How would you facilitate it? By having, well, I think the first thing would be word of mouth. And then, sending out, we've got a database of seniors, sending out this an invitation. Say, hey, we're having this, at this park, just like we do a senior picnic. And then also you have the internal, like, hey, Jana, bring your grandkids. I'll bring my grandkids, you bring your, you know what I mean? You have the internal, and then it just, it grows from there. I just know there's so many kids that we're talking about kids. The needs too, is there's so many grandparents that don't have their grandparents here. Don't have their grandkids here, they're down in the States, that would love to, buddy up with a kid, right? And that always happens if you have a buddy that has kids, and so it's always comes together kind of slowly, but you can do it. And if you build that program, then it's an ongoing program. Once a year, we have Grandparents' Day at Kenai Senior Center. Bring your grandkids, and everybody comes in. You get to know, and then it just goes from there.
Do we know if there's even a support group for grandparents, or do we just know that grandparents are out there?
I don't know if it's active. The only one I ever knew about was the Margie.
And Margie's still in the area, isn't she?
Yes.
Should we contact her and find out?
Find out.
I don't know her, but you can contact her, just find out if there's still an activity in the area with that, or who could actually
Great connect.
hear it. Seniors. So cool.
In thinking along that line, so I went on this field trip last week. Rode the bus. I was the only parent. I wasn't a parent, I was a grandparent. I was the only grandparent to go. There were a handful of parents, mostly for the second graders who showed up. And of course they're my kids' age or a little older. And so I'm thinking, so the grandparent who is raising their grandchild, they don't fit into that group. They don't fit into, I knew two of Tyler Best, who's our Parks and Rec director. He was there with the second grader, and Abby Strufford, who is 100% communities. I deal with her on a lot of committees, and I knew her. But getting the others, I suddenly realized I'm an old little bunch, and
But then once
that's
you
how they
have
feel.
another friend that comes together.
Well, I think there is so I'm thinking through as you're talking, and I'm thinking, so those grandparents raising their grandkids must feel the same way. They're going to, we've known some people who have raised a few of their grandkids. And so it's I think this is a great idea. I think it's a great way to, it's not.
Well, it would be a program that wouldn't be just once or just a touch, it would actually be a touch. You really started it and it grew, it would make a big impact on the community.
It- It is, but it takes time
It takes time and it takes it
to facilitate.
to build it up and just expect it to happen, you know. Sometimes when we have something going on and we want it to grow, we want it to be, and it doesn't become what we think it's going to be the first time. You're like, you deflated, you know, you think it's not gonna go, and then you have another one, and then you have another one. I've been in so many programs where that happens, and but slowly but surely, it just kind of does, if we're faithful. You know, but we've got such a wonderful senior base here. With these, with, you know. Just, we give their hearts, like Sadler there, he would help out in a heartbeat.
So
Yeah.
Patty, do you know if any grandparents that are raising their grandkids
I know of
We
them,
could
yes,
start
know
that
person.
way? to try and reach out to them?
I can, you betcha. And
Just to
The schools.
and then also, my daughter is involved in that area in school.
Well, and I think there's some grandparents that think are almost embarrassed about it because, you know, you're having to admit your kid isn't doing the job.
Yeah, that's
I
why,
work with 3 or 4 parents, grandparents, they're a little younger than me, and they're raising their grandkids. Some of them have even been adopted. because-
that's why you get them in together with people that are grandparents.
Mhm.
You know, so they don't feel like if you brought your grandparent, you brought your kids because they're living with you and you're taking care of them. And I come and my kids are out
Yeah.
and they start having a good time and, you know, it's just. They have to be pulled out of their comfort.
Yeah.
Ginger, do you have friends that know people you know that are raising their grandkids?
He raised one and then Runchy's raising now.
Your sister?
And I'm sure I know more about it.
It just as a support even if I think about it, but. You know, we'd be supporting, but we'd also be. Growing a program that could be really vital in this area, you know.
In the complemental seniors we have coming in here, how many would you say are in that category?
Raising your grandkids?
I don't see many. I don't think they get out. I mean, there's no, you know, all their energy is going towards it.
So I would be the whole time.
So the predominant one that I know of that raised not only grandkids, but they also raised great grandkids. And they don't get, you know, now they're in their 80s and there's health issues and so they don't get, you know, out. But did you point, Red pointed out Boys and Girls Club may be a way to connect. And what we would do is we could offer to say, we're reaching out to see what the need would be. They would talk to those individuals and they would contact us.
That's good. So that's what I was thinking, because my daughter works in that field in the schools.
Yeah.
And you could get a lot of information just of the people that really need. You know, or just the parents that might be grandparents in the area. Because I know as a parent, today you have living working. And they don't have grandparents in the area. They don't. So at home. That's why I adopt a grandparent. I think it'd be a cool idea. I think it'd be good. Yeah. And it's just that. You see a vision and then you just have to go for it and realize that it might work. And it might not.
Did I hear you correctly earlier when you said 80%?
30.
What?
30.
Oh, I thought you said 80, and I was wondering, that couldn't be,
No,
that couldn't be true.
no.
Yeah,
So
So where did that come from?
I was thinking,
I was at a luncheon today.
Oh,
And that's
oh.
Mayor Machicki was saying that's something.
Well, you know, that's partly a cultural thing too.
it is definitely.
Culture, I mean, it's really, it could be that the parents are not incapable, but the grandparents are
Are the
the dominant,
Are the
they're the
that's-
dominant people.
That's what I was thinking too, even if it's just that they watch their kids during the day. They don't know where, to go or whatever, they're watching the kids and parents are working, especially in the summertime. And then. That same scenario. It's not as being a grandparent. I have 11 grandkids. And I would always have somebody at the house. It just seems like kids need help today. And both parents have to work. And here we are, we have wealth of knowledge. But
if you're not present, say you weren't present or your children weren't present and you were raising your kids, grandkids 24/7.
can you imagine?
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
My sister-in-law is doing that.
That would be, yeah. Imagine, right? That's what I'm saying. So that what happens is that comes in as support, but you have to start the whole before getting, what I mean? It's not like you gotta build from the outskirts, you build here and they kind of grow loose that way. And it starts building outward, right? Might just be a bunch of grandparents getting together with their grandkids, just the grandkids and grandparents day. And then this person invites this person, pretty soon you kind of find out who's really raising their kids and, and it becomes a big program where grandparents are helping grandparents as well.
Well, that's something, can we add that to our list in the work session or we that at the meeting?
Add that to what this,
Thing with our goals for intergenerational program. I, can we that in the work session or can we bring that back? We voted on, is that anything
We'll bring it back.
I think we'll just do it.
to it?
That it is, I don't know that the council's not gonna care.
Then I can look up some prototypes. I mean, see if it's been done anywhere else.
Do you think the council's gonna care? We need to officially. Well, and as a maybe as a result, and we may not get off the ground with the grandparents. Thing, we may not get off the ground, but it may be in looking over it over the year, we found a need that wasn't being met. And so as a result of looking into intergenerational, we
just have it.
Yeah. Right.
I know, I think my son every so often for not making raises. I'm really grateful for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it, there's a multitude of reasons that it happens. But it is many, especially with as many single parents as we have.
We have quite exposure and how kids, the seniors out there, what kind of responsibility from the seniors? How many seniors?
20.
20?
In 20.
I get exposed to a couple hundred kids. What experience before there?
I think it's a win-win.
So it's fun.
We had more seniors. Because we're doing it here, That's a draw.
No.
The kids at school, do they have carnivals anymore at school? Yes. Is that something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what?
Carnivals.
Oh,
But why, I mean, is it the influx of kids that at Halloween versus the seniors or something?
no, it's just an exposure. It's a,
Yeah.
how many senior versus students and more with more seniors. If not more seniors involved, person everywhere, they're gonna be here.
Sure. Then you have the desire for the seniors to not just see the kids, but connect with them. That's another. You guys have already started, so that's another thing that you are doing, is games and the interactivity with the seniors at Halloween as well, not just handing out candy. You know what I'm saying? The interactivity with them. I would do this.
Yeah, we have Larry.
So we could. Maybe add to that.
Yeah, just add an interactivity.
So I would be open to doing this on our senior center Facebook page, is creating an ad that asks seniors, ask if their grandparents are, how many in our community are you raising your grandchildren? You know, are you looking for activities? Are you looking for, we could even put a survey monkey poll. We could. And then say, and if they're, you know, if they've got young kids in the house, they're most likely anything with school right now is through email and everything else. So we could put a survey monkey on it and then just spend a little money through the senior center and put an ad out there on Facebook. You know, $100 ad goes a long way, and it shows up on everybody's feeds. And then to see if they would, if there's interest in, are you interested in getting together with other grandparents who are raising grandkids, you know, from the senior center? What do you think?
Also, if you're a grandparent, you know somebody, like, hey, I'm with me. You know,
Well, and not even necessarily plan an activity, but to just see what kind of feedback we get, to see.
oh, yeah, but even feedback, they're gonna go, oh, they're thinking about this. Hey, yeah, I saw this ad. Do you know what I mean? I mean, this is encouraging, whatever. I think it would be a good idea. I think that's a good idea to ask what they're wanting, because there's a part of me that's in here saying, if I'm raising my grandparent kids, the last thing I want to do is get together with a whole bunch of grandkids running around. You want something away, quieter or something, you know. How about your, because I'm getting old and tired. And I know, but I'm like, well, and my kids were even a day. I used to be able to go all weekend. Now it's like a few hours and I'm tired. This is why I can't then. I raised my kids without my mom and dad here, right? So we didn't have grandparents here. We had Rick's side of the family, they didn't really watch the kids. So our friends were our extended family. And I'm always thinking of, if you want to relax, you got him a grandma. You know, your grandkids can come over to my house, you can have a day off. You know, see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you've got that. Dates. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. This is I don't know, just the difference, because I have friends that have grandkids, and so they come over. They'll come over and we'll have coffee, and the kids are out. They're just having a great time. It should have that same thing happening, you know what I mean? I think. I would hope, that's my vision.
But you have a high level of energy.
I have a higher level of energy. That's true.
I mean, I was an older mom and I remember volunteering in the schools and everybody looked at me at the time and thought I was a grandmother, not the mother. And that I got a complex over that, but now being the grandmother, but still not having the grandparent kids around, but I truly look at these grandparents that I know that are raising their grandkids.
And I'm so.
And trying to get the kids into activities and getting them acclimated and getting them, you know.
Their
energy
love
level
help.
of us.
That's what I always think, they would love, for me, it would be that I would love some help. You know, and if you, yeah, I mean, I'm saying if you're a grandparent, you don't have grandparents around, you you want some help, somebody to pull alongside you saying, hey, you're not alone.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about, right? You conquer any human. You're not alone. We're here to help you. Or, bring over here, or, why don't you come over for tea? Or, I don't know. I can just go on and on.
Helping them with finding support. I mean, there's all kinds of supports out there, but if they don't have the energy to find the resources, to find the resources.
Right. To be able to find them out.
How about the reverse of that? Have the kids come in and teach the seniors how to use computers?
That's a good idea.
Too.
Excellent idea. Because I'm reading these to learn. That's an excellent idea. That's a good idea.
Or like,
You feel out of it.
there's a collaboration of. It says the collaboration will be between teachers at Keenan High School and Mount View Elementary, the human development class and art class as well as contact. So, I was thinking with KCHS, there's, do they teach finance there? Maybe, would it be, Ginger, what if you went into the school and taught them how to balance a job? You're a finance guru. So.
Oh, you are.
But that would be something that people.
Right.
That's a good idea too.
That you could, and then, human development class and art classes, so we must have put. Did I put the human development class? So you guys decide human development and art classes. Maybe there's some art students who will come in here and teach. We're always looking for people to teach an art class. And school's getting ready to get out. I know. I know.
I mean, at the college level, we had KPC art students that came in and teamed up with seniors, which was an awesome program. But we might be able to tap into the art program at high school as well.
I wonder about their college too.
Your college students. I mean, the drawing class came in and drew pictures of seniors, teamed up with them and learned who they were drawing and. That was a great intergenerational program.
Good. We have a lot of seamstresses. Celia,
Yeah.
art machine. A lot of seamstresses here.
We teach so much.
Learning to find a friend of mine in Wasilla, that's what she does. She makes good money teaching homeschool kids how to sew.
Somebody does have a really good talk.
Teaching somebody how to sew. It's a commitment, but at any time, it's a very good life skill for them to learn to do. How to use them with lawnmower.
Go Lord.
Personal for.
Any other comment through the Jack Dave? Get to identifying programs and activities for health and wellness. Barb, do you want to read that part? For your objective?
I haven't had a chance to discuss our agenda with Katrina, but I don't like the way this is numbered because obviously the first priority is coming up.
Well,
I
his
didn't
ideas,
realize that
not
we were-
priorities. Your ideas, not priorities.
That's right. Right.
Right.
But again. Senior Health and Fitness Day, I wasn't really aware that we were having a full day coming up.
Something that we kind of done yearly, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of focusing on the booklet, but I haven't had a chance yet to discuss it, where we stand with the resource booklet that we're developing. Mainly it's a combination resource and informational booklet, and I know Gina is working on that, but I don't know exactly where we're gonna stand on that. But obviously, we're gonna have to help to contribute to planning this day, it's getting up in May. And maybe have some input into that. Who is doing the invites and the survey? So we already have that planned out. And is there any way we can look at maybe getting information and pamphlets ready for that day, or what do we need to do to facilitate that process?
So Barb, this is something that I've been doing the last almost 5 years. It's something I jointly do with Alaska Community Care. And that's because Alaska Community Care, they are care coordinators that work with all the different agencies in the area. And so we work together to get different vendors to come in that are talking about services that revolve around seniors. And on top of that, we do a walk. And this year, we're not doing it to Old Town because we can't decide what the weather's going to do. So we're taking our fancy new vans to ship people over to the field house to do a walk in the morning and kind of get people aware that this is another avenue to be able to exercise. But I probably have at least a dozen vendors set up to show. And each year at the end of it, I send out a survey asking what can we do better the next year. So that's in the works now. I would for future love input. So after this one happens, attend it, tell me what you think and what we can do better.
Okay, that sounds good. But will we have anything like the blood pressure table?
I haven't asked,
Any testing available?
no, unfortunately, the blood people don't come to us. So we can have blood pressures if Mary Moakland's available, but other than that, it's different entities that are coming in. Atlo will be here though. Assistive technology, can't remember the acronym. They're the ones that bring in the hearing machines and the big button phones and help you find your equipment that you need in your home for hearing or vision. But they're coming down for this. So. Oh no, that was a different group.
And the radio talking, I was looking at this list, I thought where will we get at each of these items? I don't know where we really are on that, but I thought it occurred to me that we have our activity director, Carol, husband is he's still, I ran into him at Mother's Day at Louis, and he is still a broadcaster for radio. Maybe you could use his program as a conduit for, but I don't know who would be the spokesperson. I wouldn't want to get on the radio to do it, but maybe Kathy would be good at that. Have we gotten any further with the radio?
We do try to, we do get radio ads, the city puts out ads every month that generate on the radio. And so we have tried to put some of our programs with special features in. We can only do it as they have space to do that, as space to put it in. But I think Dwayne's always open to that.
Yeah.
And he's always, he always brings me on for more.
Oh, so he has been approached already.
Well, not as far as doing for other activity programs, things, but yeah. So.
And I have materials available to coordinate with Gina for the booklet. So I worked on that today. And I wasn't able to print it out because my printer is not working. So I emailed the information to you, but I guess it was too late and you didn't see your email. Or maybe you never.
I haven't got it. I just
it was a little handout I wanted to give you with an example of the kind of information we could get into this booklet. Because we've already identified 9 factors affecting the seniors as they get older, healthy aging. And one of them is the area of cognitive functioning. And that was number 9. And I pulled up an example of what we would put in the booklet in relation to cognitive function. The resources available and what the main factors are to prevent decline in cognitive functioning. And there were like 4: healthy diet, physical exercise, just common sense things that, you know, it's one place where it explains people are going through this booklet. It will give them a little information, education, plus the resources at the same time. So guess we're still at the point where we don't have all of this into a format for the booklet. So that's still a big one in the works.
The radio talk program might be a good way. We could have somebody present a program like grandparent raising grandchildren. That might be a way to get out information. And at least get some kind of number.
Wednesdays, they have a, Life on the Kenai from 11 to 12. That Samantha Springer from the Chamber and Brian Cap are hosting. That might be another.
Now, Gina, do you have anything as far as where we stand with?
Well, I think we have all of the information. It's just a matter of getting that form. Like that. And if I can, you know, maybe talk with you guys and decide how we want to format it, then I can put the program on my computer at home, and after I have surgery and I have 6 weeks sitting there with nothing to do.
You can sign into Canada from home.
Oh,
I don't know how to do Canada.
If that was the this was the template that we were working from, a book because you have it all you familiar with what we're talking about, the booklet, or it's a resource booklet which would have access to information about services, programs, and opportunities available both locally, federally, and state level. So it would be
I think that
everything online and anything that's available related to healthy aging would be in. And then there would also be short, maybe 1 sheet information sheets on the major factors influencing the progress with healthy aging. So it's still like, you know, it's not fully formed the way it will look at you.
Can I ask a question on that? So, when we get, and we got, it's May, summer gets really busy. And, so as we look into the fall, and with Gina having more time to work on Canada at home and getting that, we got some page issues that, page is too big for some of it that we'll have to fix. Canva is linked. We can link it in with AI and ask it to change the page to the pro. So, so once we get the booklet done, so this is our 2nd year for this goal, and this is a good goal because it's a big one. This isn't something none of us have just weeks to spend on this, and understandably so. And we want to get our information correct. So what do we do with it then? So we have it here to pass out. We have it online. It'll be on the city website so that we can direct people to it. It'll be on Facebook. We can put it on our Senior Center Facebook page to where they can just download it, clicking on it, just like they can on the webpage. So do we see us mailing this? Do we see, how do we get this outside of the Senior Center?
I think originally we talked about that borough or city has a listing of by seniors that we could send it out to.
Who have
The city.
Okay.
The borough,
Or the
maybe.
borough, okay.
Better, I would think the borough maybe. better out for that.
Because it's not just a Kenai thing, it's. Maybe the library would look at base, that copy. The public library.
Right. Okay.
The churches,
Yes.
of course.
Okay. All right.
So then, talking about the next one is having Medicaid, Medicare, for public assistance, senior benefit package available. Don't we already have some of those already available? I mean, those are some.
There's one, okay, there's a huge one at the front desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's only financial, well, assistance, financial, legal assistance, I think. I haven't looked through the whole thing, but there's a lot in there, yeah. Anything related to state services or federal services. It doesn't really address healthy aging, but
No, and then, so along with this is, anybody tried to do, ID.gov? Anybody got theirs yet? Anybody tried? You cannot get on Medicare if you do not have a current Medicare account. I mean, that is that you've established Medicare.gov, IRS.gov, SocialSecurity.gov. You don't have already, and even if you have a SocialSecurity.gov, you have to go through Medicare.gov. I mean, ID.gov. And most people do it with their cell phone. We need to have trainings on this. We need to have the training.
Either that or it has to be, clearly lined down on a piece of paper or something, for people to just grab it and go, okay, this is what I have to do. But it's just say, okay. You don't know, so you're going to see on the computer
Just a card. So next month, we will be having a fraud, the investigator with Adult Protective Services will be down. And I believe she's also bringing somebody from the post office, the Attorney General Postal Office in Anchorage. She may be bringing somebody, Kenai Police Department will be here, and it will be with June. I believe it's June 10th or 11th, and they're going to talk about that. But Red was just saying somebody had logged in to SSA and they got it SSA.com, not SSA.gov, and they were spammed. I went to fill out a passport, and I know better than this. I know to get, I went to redo my passport. I click on, it says USGIS, whatever passport thing. I input in all my information and paid. I thought, why am I paying $50 for this? And that was more. And I thought, okay. And then all it was is a company that put the forms in there for you to automatically fill out and make it easy. And then when I pushed go and paid for it, they gave me all my passport films, all forms already filled out, which I could have done by myself. And I fell for this because it was an ad. And I didn't go all the way down to USCIS.gov. And so it's happening. And I preach to people about this every day.
So we're having for example, I'm down and actually be able to teach up to them.
We're going to talk about senior fraud. We're going to talk about fraud. We'll have, it's going to be in the afternoon on a Wednesday, and it will be troopers, the postal division, the state division of Adult Protective Services. It's good. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But we should put the Medicare, Medicaid, Adult Public Assistance and Senior Benefits on our big pamphlet form thing. There, it's cluttered with so much other things. We should have one that says Adult Public Assistance, Medicaid application, Senior Benefits application. Yes, and newsletters, and we have enough big slots to have that. We can cover that for you in this goal and make sure that that gets, Medicare is a little differently, it requires more personal or personal one-on-one.
Any other comments about our objective two? I'll do this out too. They go further different, I guess, pretty soon.
Can we talk about a couple things?
Sure.
So I want to talk about next month. I will be on vacation on the 11th. Gina, are you out of commission on the 11th of June? And I do not have anything at this point on the agenda. Anything you can think of on the agenda? Right, do we need to meet next month? Does anybody have anything they want to bring in?
I could do the follow-up on the content for the booklet with the, and get my current employer, get that information in time for you to include in the package.
So, that would probably be the only thing on the agenda at this point.
Okay.
On the agenda at that point. And part of that, if I can say this, you guys are a team working on that. You probably should discuss that together.
We will, and then we'll get that to you together.
Do you see any reason why we should not meet next month? I can get, I can find, not find, but I can put something together to come back and talk about. We want to do that. Red would you be here?
I could be here. We don't have an agenda though.
Well, we can use an extra. You can
Okay.
use an extra room. You're not gonna be here. Well, Gina won't be here anyway,
So
so
it's July
I
9th.
wouldn't have that one agenda item anyway.
July 9th. July 9th, did you say?
So could I put in the schedule, updates from our work goals that would give us enough time to do that? We would do updates. I'd also like to ask, 100% Communities, Abby, to come and talk about the app, the new app for 100% Communities. So we could be advertising this in our booklet because people could go right to the app, find out where they get food, where they get transportation, where they get all that. And she can talk to us about senior 100% Communities, and we have it out on the big TV. And if that's good. July 9th.
3:30? 3:00.
So I don't know if I told you, one of the things I, applied, to the governor for a seat on the Alaska State Commission on Aging. And found out last month that I got on the seat. In June, I'll be going to a commission meeting that's Zoom in May. And then I'll be going to strategic planning in June. And, right, the week after my vacation. So, but we're working on the What is that?
the next fiscal plan for
Senior services for,
2028, 29.
it's 2028 through, 30. Fiscal year 28, 29, and 30. So it's the next senior plan, but things like senior grandparents who are raising their kids, grandparents getting information out to seniors, because this is the stuff that the state wants to know about. And so they usually have someone who's on the ground. There's one guy from Fairbanks right now who's got boots on the ground, and I consider myself boots on the ground. So I'm kind of excited about that. So if you were things,
Congratulations on
it is something I can do through my job. So.
She's just not making it as big a deal as it is. It is a big deal. It's a big deal.
So I'll be here for July 9th, but then I probably won't be here until November. Okay.
Well, have it before you leave.
Yeah, if you could just contact. Give me the stuff.
I'm
A lot of the same.
For the next couple.
Anyway, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, challenge. Okay. I thank you for your time and effort.
Thank you, everybody.
That's the story?
Yes.
Okay, I've been having a fantastic amount of fun. Intergenerational activity. And this happened with Safeway, it happens at Windy. I drive my cyber. Come on, the little kids, grandpas and great grandpas, can I sit in it? Well, but I say they can. Hey.
That's cool.
But anyway, these kids and the dads and the moms, I have one girl and we have a partner. No, excuse me, and we go, wait, I want. And I go to open the door and I look up and here comes 4 kids with mom. Jeez, though. Funny.
I feel like when you're at the 4th of July with your little. Everybody loves it.
Parade.
If this Elon thing slows down. I'll get a couple of days, because there's 5.
I want to drive the Richmond line for a
Drive for Segway.
Can I?
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, everybody is just, it doesn't make any difference how, it is deep. Anyway, that's my story. I want my fish on it, say.
That's good. I think we do it.
So snow machine mom's doing it, like not called snow machine. But no, I do that 2 bats. She's like, what, over back.
What does it? That's great. I used to race them.
I was in that. Right on the main road. What's the snowmobile? A snowmobile, not a snow machine.
Yeah, it's called a snowmobile. I call them a snow machine.
It's called snow shoes.
Revving the snowmobile.
You already submitted that, didn't you?
Yeah, great.
I'll send them to you now that I. Okay.
So I'll give you a copy of it before you try to after you. Or we'll get together.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Running on my